politics, you have investors who are quiet doing their own businesses. So they really have nothing. They can be intolerant when the economic atmosphere is not conducive to transact their businesses. But let me come to what you have just showed on TV with a chance. It is not coincidental, and it is not happenstance that this is happening just a day after the president and his deputy received a thunderous welcome at the lakeside in Homa Bay. Now, the Wamunyoro team, hereby represented by my friend Honorable Nyutu, are still nursing, the impeachment, post-impeachment disorder. When Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, and there were push and shove here and there, they knew that the state at which President William Ruto's politics had reached was a dead end. And therefore, they coined phrases like Ruto must go, Ruto one term, which simply means the same thing. It's just a matter of semantics. And having done all that, they knew that the country was going to repel anything pro-Ruto. And therefore, they are so shocked that President Ruto can visit the lakeside in the company of the Prime Minister Raila Odinga and receives such a huge welcome, meaning therefore that what was hitherto conceived, that President Ruto can actually be one term, is coming to be the reverse, that this guy actually has a second chance at the cherry. And demonstrations and signs are out there that he has what it takes to move a particular section of the country in his support, in replacement of the Wamunyoro, who have deliberately chosen to disconnect themselves with our country. Now, why was that important? You can see that those few boys chanting Ruto one term were actually outside the perimeter fence. Why would they choose to be outside if everybody else is inside? That in politics, and my brothers can bear me witness here, is a testament of hired goons, hired to go and cause mayhem and to shout. Otherwise, in a normal gathering where people would want to express a different opinion, they would actually be with you in the same crowd and then, fire back at certain intervals depending on the message that you are out to deliver. But these were outside, hired to cause whatever they did. Of course, the police overwhelmed them because there were so few and probably the payment delayed, and they had to leave. And then the event continued. Now, Trevor, I want you to understand one thing. With the entry of my friend Fred Matiang'i into the Wamunyoro arrangement, everybody shivered. Shivered to the extent that you have my brother Kalonzo Musyoka, you have my brother Rigathi Gachagua, you have my brother now Matiang'i, all angling to be presidents under the same arrangement. And you have to demonstrate that you have galvanized your base and you are the king of that base, which Matiang'i demonstrated 3 weeks ago.
In his homecoming.
In his homecoming in Kisii, and had a tour of that region. Kalonzo Musyoka has always had Ukambani intact, and I hope it will still continue to be intact behind him, because things are also changing. Now, Wamunyoro, who has self-declared the king of the mountain, has to do everything to dispel anybody who has a contrary opinion, much less somebody hailing from his backyard, like Kindiki Kithure. So in that desperation, there are three of them in that arrangement. Everybody wants to be president. You have to convince your peers and your partners that you are the king. So you have to do everything and anything possible to demonstrate that you are the one. Again, Rigathi has come out to say he can't play second fiddle, even in the arrangement that they are cobbling. if he cannot play a second fiddle, he has to move swiftly to make sure that the entire Mount Kenya region speaks with one voice. And that is why last week, actually, he called people who are not aligned to him, but are leaders like him in the Mount Kenya region, foolish. He called them foolish just because they have a contrary view. That is how low the Wamunyoro politics has become. I mean, why call leaders foolish just because you have a different opinion? And that is a democratic right. So it is out of desperation that they are trying to do all this. But, you know, you should not shout.